in your opinion,
Yes.
who is the second best point guard, period? Now, it's always been great debate. Of course, you come to Detroit, it's going to be Isaiah Thomas, Magic being number one. Who in your book is number two?
Of all time?
Period. Just straight up. Because I'm thinking of, and we were having this discussion, of course, in the barbershop.
Sure.
Think about Isaiah Thomas in today's game. I mean, the man played an entire game on one leg and scorched the Lakers. That was probably one of the greatest performances by an athlete, period, that I can think of, in my opinion. The man he couldn't even play the next game. After the game, his leg was as huge as it could be. But he did what he had to do against the Lakers. Unfortunately, we lost that series. But, you know, that's my vote for number two. And,
well, how about
people have always wondered who would number two be.
How about Stockton? What about John Stockton? What about him?
I guess the reason why I would pick Isaiah over Stockton because Isaiah could go off. I could never imagine John Stockton putting on the performance that Isaiah did against Bernard King and Cobo Hall.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that. Hubie Brown was the coach, and it was I think Trapuka went off in that game too, man.
Marner.
That's right. Thanks for the call, Jeff. I appreciate that.
All right, Jeff.
What would you say?
I think I would go Steph Curry, man. I agree with Jeff. Magic's one. I would go with Steph.
But do you view Curry as a facilitator? Because that's what he's pointing out, is that you're pointing out you've got to go off and you've got to facilitate. You've got a quarterback. And
you know what he facilitates? The ball going in the net.
I understand that. But that's what I'm talking about, point guard. You know, when I think point guard, I don't think scorer. I think facilitator.
I think he can do everything.
What about you, TJ? How come you're Pat Beverly? Is that what you're trying to work your way to that?
What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? No, I've had a list of my top point guards for a while now, and it goes Magic, Isaiah. You know, I never saw Oscar Robertson play, but from everything that I've read, everything that I've seen, he's definitely, you know, top 2 or 3 of all time. And then I have Stockton. And then I kind of agree with you on the Steph thing because I kind of feel like Steph is more of a 2, even though he plays 1. So he's kind of hard. But I guess if he is listed as a point guard, you have to put him in there.
Kind of talk about
and then I also have Jason Kidd and Steve Nash. What
about Chris Paul?
How about you?
If the Suns win a championship, where does Chris Paul now go on this list?
I think he jumps into my 3-way tie for 5th place.
This guy and his ties.
Brockman hates.
That's why I wanted him to
I hate the ties.
But it's hard for me to differentiate between Nash and Kidd and Gary Payton. Like, you know, Nash is the MVPs and Kidd won a chip. But who's better out of those
Which is why I think Steph Curry is above those guys. Steph Curry has the MVPs and he has the championships.
Chris Paul is 2 wins away from having his State Farm commercials last in terms of relevancy in a playoffs the longest it's ever lasted.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the king of like, oh yeah, he was out 2 rounds ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a new one with him.
You know those commercials everywhere. He's about to hit it. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.